Hi everyone, this is the textbook we are we are going to use during this semester, Sludge into Biosolid. And this book was published by IWA Publishing Company. IWA stands for International Water Association. Today, I'd like to explain Chapter 1 in Part 1, Production and Regulation. My name is Seokjong. Sludge is any material produced during primary, secondary, or advanced wastewater treatment that has not undergone any process to reduce pathogen or bacterial attraction. This definition is from Wastewater Engineering 5th edition. This is the one of the most famous book in environmental engineering. Sludge is the residual semi-solid material left from industrial wastewater. This definition is from Wikipedia. I think this definition is much better than this. What about the biosolid? Biosolid is sludge from wastewater treatment process that has been stabilized to meet the criteria in of the regulation in each country and therefore can be used beneficially. And this definition is also from Wastewater Engineering 5th edition. Since this book was written in America, they mention US EPA regulation, and I think Korea also have a regulation about the biosolid, and I think your country also have a regulation, and find your regulation what they mention about the biosolid. These two picture clearly shows what is a sludge and what is biosolid. This one is a sludge, and this one is directly from wastewater treatment plant, and this one is biosolid. When you stabilize a sludge by using certain treatment method, it become biosolid. It looks safer, it looks cleaner than sludge. In previous slide, you saw some unfamiliar word like primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment, something like that. Those are treatment step in wastewater treatment. Primary sludge utilize physical property of the sludge, low sludge, and the main purpose of primary treatment is that it separates settleable sludge, and unsettleable sludge. So screen separate out coarse sludge, and this one use gravity, and it separate out heavier sludge, settleable sludge. So those things can be disposed directly and it becomes sludgy. What about the unsettlable sludgy? It goes into the aeration tank and it undergo biological treatment. So secondary treatment usually means biological treatment. So by using air compression, it provides air into the aeration tank, and bacteria respire with oxygen and it decomposes organic material. So this is this figure this figure is from Britannica, and production of sludge. The objective of wastewater treatment is to produce an effluent that does no harm to watercourse and the surrounding ecosystem into which it is introduced. The wastewater treatment industry has succeeded in its primary objective. However, waste treatment plant produce an unwanted byproduct. It is sludge. Wastewater sludge is a suspension of both inorganic and organic solid mixed in a liquor. Its concentration is 10 to 5% weight per volume. The disposal of this sludge is both difficult and expensive, often requiring over 50% of the operating budget for the wastewater treatment plant. So the treatment of sludge is very important. Modern wastewater treatment plants consist of a sequence of operation: preliminary treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment, advanced or tertiary treatment. It is not here. Disinfection and sludge treatment. What is advanced or tertiary treatment? When this process alone does not satisfy effluent regulation of the government, it needs advanced or tertiary treatment, and there are many kinds of such treatment out there. So based on engineering's evaluation, sometimes we add tertiary treatment process in the wastewater treatment process. Preliminary treatment includes screen and grid corrector, where produced residue which are not handled as sludge because the residue produced here is not so biological available. Sometimes it is a kind of a stone or some something, some inorganic material, something like that. Primary treatment consists of gravitational settling for the removal of the settled solid and correction of grease and scum. like this. For settling, in use gravitational force, but for grease and scum, in use different process, because grease and scum, it is less heavier than the uh, wastewater itself. So sometimes we use some kind of small size of air air bubble, and when grease and scum are floating on the wastewater, we can remove, and it also becomes sludge. The sludge produced in primary clarifier or settling tank is called primary sludge, and it contains all the known human pathogen. So primary settling tank, primary clarifier. The most popular secondary treatment method is activated sludge process. Waste activated sludge over secondary sludge is essentially an incredibly complex aquatic culture of bacteria and high animals. Waste activated sludge is typically the most difficult sludge to dewater because it contains so much water initially. Waste activated sludge does not contain the concentration of pathogen found in primary sludge. So this zone and this zone are very different. The sludge here is we call primary sludge, and this activated sludge is a secondary sludge. So they are different. And this one has different physical property. Secondary sludge contains diverse bacteria and high density of bacteria, but in primary sludge it has less bacteria, but because primary sludge contains high concentration of organic material, it can have a lot of pathogen. On the contrary, this sludge during aeration tank, organic part is decomposed, and it does have less organic portion than primary sludge. This figure shows wastewater treatment plant process in one city, and I'm showing this for your information, and this one looks, I think, better than the previous one. That's why I put this picture in the slide. Okay, so today's class is over. Please read textbook about this and see you next class. Have a good day.